I got you guys a fresh, hot opinion on a new film, so let's begin, shall we? I'm MangaKamen, let's get right into it, the Sonic 2 movie.
Amazing! The kind of thing that only comes around once in a lifetime.
So this is going to be a quick video, since not only I'm in the middle of working on other videos at the moment, but because I'm not really a movie kind of guy, at least on YouTube. Most of my videos on movies don't really do all that well, unless I do it on the day after they come out, but I asked on Twitter and you guys really wanted me to talk about the Sonic movie, so... But how do I want to go about this video? Well, I could make an unstructured, unscripted rant video talking about the movie where I actively contradict myself, show that I really don't pay attention to the actual plot between the two movies, claim I don't have a bias against the film, only to later contradict myself, and then go on Twitter where I basically dismiss people who get on my cases for my opinion. But I had to be a total dink to do that.
Because those scenes were part of the checklist. Because this isn't a movie. This wasn't a script they were writing. This was a corporate checklist that they had to fill. And they had to fill all of those boxes, tick all the boxes, and make that into a story, whether or not it worked.
What the f*** are you talking about?
No. I'll be giving my thoughts on this film, and the first one a little bit, since you need a little context to see where I'm coming from with this. With the original Sonic movie, while I did find it to be a fun adventure, the problem with the film is that it's unfortunately followed the dreaded hero origin formula. You know the formula, we've all seen it countless times, we've seen it in countless other films, and it's part of the main reason why I've come to dislike to a lot of the hero movies of so many origin flicks. That doesn't mean I thought the first movie was bad in Sonic, but it was a little basic for my tastes. I took more issue with the inclusion of things like flossing and that jazz because Fortnite is frickin' cringe as all hell. But you still need that basic setup for the film for the second one, and obviously third film. Oh, wait, yeah, spoilers. Put a disclaimer right here, thank you very much. I don't want to get people mad with me like they did with Arlo. Anyway, the second film is about responsibility and fleshing out the Sonic film universe, which is something that I greatly appreciate, cause while you could say the first film was Sonic in our world, which isn't really true since we don't really have the level of robotics that Robotnik has, we barely got started on robot swearing protocols.
Mother... Ow! What the f***, Kevin?
But with the inclusion of the owls apparently having appeared on Earth to drop off the Master Emerald and create mystical shrines and such on Earth, it's obvious that the Sonic film series is taking place in a universe similar to that of the Sonic Adventure series. And if you don't believe me on that...
My God. Project Shadow.
Yeah, he's coming! Get your guns and edge metal music, boys and girls!
You just hate me because I'm right. I just hate you in general.
So, as someone who's not a huge fan of the games, but has been a fan in his youth and got back into the games recently, and has a fat stack of old Sonic Archie comics in the corner of his bookshelf, well, let me say that even if this film was straight up set up in our own world without anything else, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Sonic being near humans is something I've kind of gotten used to. I mean, Sonic's even met the president before. So complaining about that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And sure, Sonic's Sad AM had a more fantastical world, but humans were still in it. I mean, we only saw two of them, and Snively was Robotnik's nephew, so that had to imply there had to have been others in the show. Oh wait, those were Overlanders, weren't they? But that's neither here or there. Despite what the blue, furry puppets may say, this film has a stronger structure to the story than the first one, if you ask me. And by doing that, there's an introduction of a more dynamic plot where you have a race between two factions. You've got Sonic and Tails versus Robotnik and Knuckles racing for the Master Emerald, and its obvious power. Standard fare if you're actually thinking about Sonic at the moment. Now, I'm not going to get too fully into the nitty-gritty of the plot, but I will say it's better than the original. I think it has to do with the fact that Sonic actually has more of a natural chemistry with Tails and then Knuckles. Like, it's not the deepest writing, but you don't need to be deep to be enjoyable. And there's something to be said with having more careers like Sonic on screen and seeing the interactions between them. Whether it be the better fight scene in the original between Sonic and Knuckles, or even the dance-off with Tails and Sonic. And yes, I am defending the dance scene, and it's not the same thing as the original movie's bar scene, because there's a few major differences. And yeah, I guess I am responding to Arlo, like, why doesn't Sonic just run and get the map? And then what's he gonna do? They're still in the cabin in the middle of the night in the middle of a raging blizzard, so it's either they compete in the dance-off and get the map and warm place to stay, or freeze to death outside. But hey, that's just me actually paying attention without looking to be a contrarian. God, so many people want me to rip into Arlo's video in two, but I'm not a commentator anymore.
I don't get it. Why didn't they just go to Sonic's house? They know where Sonic lives. If they know he's attached to James, why? We can't. We're and like it gets so
You haven't by any chance been in contact with a certain alien creature since the incident, have you? Uncle Sam would love to have a chat with him. Very casual. Brunch, perhaps.
Oh, you mean the little blue guy? No, nothing. Doubt we'll ever hear from him again.
Maybe. Don't judge me. In any case, the highlights of the film is actually the character interactions. Tails, and I have to say bravo for getting the VA who's been voicing Tails for a while now, Colleen O. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to attempt that, holy hell. Tails' character arc is quick and simple. He doesn't get annoying and is probably the cutest character in the movie out of the three.
He's a double threat. Fluffy and adorable.
And also the deadliest concerning his inventions, but I think it's rather adorable that Tails actually comes out of a shell while hanging out with Sonic. You could say the development is a little rushed, but I don't know. This isn't Yakuza where the characters are super deep and have many threads to them. Most of the main characters in this are teenagers, and I'm not watching a deep crime thriller. I'm looking for a fun time of a movie and hope the characters are at least charming, and the chemistry between Sonic and Tails does that for me. And then there's Knuckles.
Your society is full of soft and undisciplined weaklings. However, I do enjoy the planet's grapes. The grapes are delicious.
You know, this is probably the worst video for me to talk about Knuckles as a character, but for the most part, I think Knuckles was done all right in the movie. Like, considering the fact that originally Knuckles was this antagonist who was tricked by Eggman in the original games to fight against Sonic, it's a little nice callback to the original character of him. And yeah, there was a character in Knuckles in the back in the original games. But in more recent titles, and in especially more modern media, they kind of make Knuckles into...
Well, look at you! Look at you!
Yeah, these infamous forms of media, Knuckles is straight up an idiot. Now, granted, I know people are going to do this, because the video I found this clip for literally calls Knuckles an idiot in the title. Knuckles is not an idiot in this movie. Sure, we as the audience think it's weird and stupid and how some things aren't really all that believable considering how he acts. But we need to remember that in this film, Knuckles isn't from Earth. Hell, from what we did see, we saw that he's more from an ancient tribe. I'm honestly surprised he can read English at all.
Dot, 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 dot.
He wasn't even on the planet for even a day, and he was able to read text messages on a screen? Actually goes to show how quick he was able to pick up that, if you ask me. Unless, of course...
To, Vajmal Jatal te Bitmalho. English.
Which, hey, I don't know, maybe. Tails speaks English pretty well. But then again, he's been stalking Sonic for about a year, which, you know, despite the cute factor, is kind of creepy now that I think about it. In any case, we don't see Knuckles being an idiot in this film. Knuckles originally was a bit of a socially awkward character, especially in the games. Hell, his job was to protect the Master Emerald and be isolated from most societies. And while the backstory from the movie Knuckles is different, the backstory given to us actually does seem to work really well to incorporate this isolationist personality that Knuckles did have. What I'm saying here is, the characters that were introduced into this film aren't annoying. They aren't bad. And while they certainly have differences to their game counterparts, ultimately, they're done respectfully if you ask me. Then you got Jim Carrey's Robotnik.
Where are my manners?
Honestly, he was the life of the original film. The most standout, and don't get me wrong, he still has the same energy and comedic value in the second film. He's still very entertaining as a character. And even Stone has his own moments too. I love how the manual for the giant mech is a Sega Genesis game manual. And hell, I actually do like all the little callbacks to Sonic media. It's nice to see that, you know? They even had Gun in the film. Oh hey, the helicopter has SA2 on it. Now, there is a B-plot with Donut Lord and his wife going to the sister's wedding, and while some people did complain about the inclusion of the B-plot, I honestly think this was the best they could have done with it. It really separates the humans from the Sonic characters for the most part of the plot until the ending, without having to completely cut the humans out from the movie entirely. All in all, while it's not the greatest film of all time, it was still a pretty fun film. I give it a recommendation to watch even if you're not a fan of Sonic. And remember kids, blue puppets can't really hurt you with their opinions, but you can certainly point and laugh at them. I'm MangaKamen, and remember to examine your
father. When can I leave to be on my own?